Good morning. On today's edition of The Professor Helps, I'm going to talk to you today about why we are humans and not aliens. So, a friend of mine said a while ago when I became a mother that I was a human. And I got really mad at her because I was trying to do everything. I was trying to work, I was trying to be a mom, I was trying to be a wife, trying to be everything. And we started saying amongst ourselves that you're human. And it wasn't like this horrible indictment, it was the truth that we are both human. And recently, with the events of the world unfolding in the storm that they have, it has not been enough to be human. It has become necessary to say, you know what? We're human, not aliens. Let me explain. So, I think that if you're anything like me, you struggle with the concept of asking for help. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, especially if you're a control connoisseur such as myself, because you want to think that you have everything under control. You want to look good, you want to smell good, you want to sound good. And one of the reasons that I've had to start saying, you're human, not an alien, is because we've taken it to such a ridiculous extreme that we expect that we can handle everything and not need help. And I'm here to tell you, you need help. Everybody needs help from time to time. And on today's episode of The Professor Helps, I'm going to talk to you about the fact that I think everything that I've ever done in my life has required help. And there has never been a more important time to ask people for help. Like right now, because we are facing this pandemic. So you can ask for other people's helps. You can ask people for their help. You can say, you know what, I'm really struggling right now. I'm having a rough day. Brene Brown talks about having a one-word check-in. And I think that that's a good idea. I want to expand on that and say, you know, maybe you have 10 or 15 words that you want to use to expand on how you feel. The reason that it's a one-word check-in or it's a two-word check-in is usually because one is I'm feeling anxious and I'm feeling grateful. And those two things, coexist. Because I'm anxious about the future because I don't know what's going to happen. I'm grateful that I haven't gotten the virus. I'm grateful that no one close to me has died of this thing. I'm also grateful to have a job. I'm anxious about what's to come because we don't know. None of us know. And I think that that's a great time to reach out and ask for help. And in reviewing the times that I have asked for help, it's gone really well for me. I was on the precipice of getting married. That was... I can't believe this. It was 9 years ago that we got married. And I had not figured out how to cook yet. So I turned to a friend of mine who is an excellent cook, and I asked her to show me how to cook. One of the things she taught me how to cook was cake balls, and that's not cooking, that's actually baking. It's such a joy for me. I really enjoy it. I enjoy it so much so that for an upcoming fundraiser that we're doing for Baking for Good, I'm going to be doing those cake balls. More on that next week. And part of that is that never would have happened if I hadn't asked somebody to help me to learn to cook. And she taught me how to brine a chicken, and I'm pretty good at that. My husband is more the cook than I am, so while it was important to learn how to cook because I definitely cook in our house, I'm more of a baker than a cook. Many years ago, not having it modeled for me in childhood, or like between childhood and adulthood, I had a friend of mine teach me how to do makeup. And her makeup always looked flawless, and so I was really excited to have her teach me. And it was born out of the fact that I had been in a show, and as an actor, you have to wear makeup and, do lots of different things, wear costumes and makeup, and, one of the things that I found out was I was going to be in this 1940s show, and it was called The Women. And it wound up being an excellent experience for me because I wore this really awesome makeup every night, and it made me appreciate makeup in a way that I hadn't before. And the thing that I'm realizing about help is that it's so hard to ask for it because growing up, I never had it modeled for me how to ask for help. There wasn't somebody who said, hey, Jennifer, in your lifetime, there are going to be times that you need help. And what you need to do is reach out your hand and say, you know what, I could really use some help here. So when I wanted to learn to sing better, I went and got a coach. I learned how to sing. When I wanted to speak better, I went and got a coach. I joined a group called Stage Time University. And that's when these Stage Time did this thing where, you know, the most important thing is putting yourself out there. And I was terrified of doing Facebook Lives before that. But then we did this 90-day challenge, and they talked about the fact that, you know, every day talk about something that you're passionate about. And that's actually where this was born. This Professor Helps YouTube video was born out of the fact that I was getting my platform underway. And that all came from me asking for help. So I want to remind you folks, as you walk into this week, and remember that it is the first day of July, that you are wonderfully and amazingly made. And everybody at one time or another needs help. So don't be afraid to ask for help. You are human, not an alien. Stop trying to act like you're an alien and you've got it all under control. Nobody has it under control. It's crazy right now. There are so many things that are coming at us from so many different directions, and asking for help is one of the most human things that you can do. So I want to invite you and encourage you to ask for help. And one of the ways that you can do that is you can say to somebody, you know, I can tell that you're struggling even behind your mask. I can see that your face and your brow is furrowed, and you're unhappy and there's something going on. How can I help? And sometimes it can be as simple as a text message that you send to a friend and say, hey, I know we haven't talked in a little bit. How are you doing? Out of said conversation, I've started a chain with a friend of mine who, you know, we have kind of lost touch over the years, and that started a conversation up, and we're, you know, connected again. There's also the opportunity to say to somebody, you know what, I don't know what you need. I want to be here for you. And I was thinking about that yesterday when I read a post from a friend of mine who works at the bar at Hamilton, and he was talking about grocery shopping, and he wanted to let this person of color know that he was there for them and he was supportive, and yet he didn't know his life experience. But I'm here for you. And it's really hard to convey all of that through a mask. And so at the end of the interaction, he really went back and forth about what he was going to do. And he said, you know what, I want to let you know I'm here for you. It's really hard to convey that through a mask. And the person that he was talking to said, oh, I know that, man. The eyes don't lie. And so it's just something to think about, that, you know, even through the mask, we're able to be really kind to each other. And I think that we could do more of that. And one of the kindest things that you can do is offer help or ask for it. Depending on where you are, go ahead and subscribe to this message. Every week, the Professor Helps. Share it with somebody who maybe needs the encouragement. And let me be the first to encourage you. The whole idea behind this is that I want to inspire you, motivate you. Sometimes, yes, I'm going to frustrate you, especially if you're a control connoisseur like myself. You have to ask for help, because in this particular situation where we find ourselves, global pandemic, turbulent election year, you're gonna need help. And it's okay to admit that you are human, not an alien. And that is the Professor signing off.